speaking and listening. Is there a difference between speaking and listening? How are they related? Absolutely. They are two sides of the same coin. If you are a good speaker, it does not necessarily mean that you are a good listener, but good listening helps you to become a good speaker because you will be much more precise and accurate when you speak if you are a good listener. We learn how to speak, but we rarely learn how to listen, isn't it? In school, you participate in debating competitions that teaches you how to speak, how to make a point forcefully, assertively. You participate in elocution competitions, and that teaches you how to make a fiery, passionate speech. So there are different ways that we have learned how to speak, but rarely is there a syllabus, is there a competition that teaches us how to listen. It is still not too late. It's time to begin to be a good listener. And therefore, we have to be intentional, conscious about becoming good listeners. Speaking is effortless. In other words, we feel something, we think something, and we speak those feelings and those thoughts. When it comes to listening, it requires a conscious effort. It is not automatic. It appears that we are much more predisposed to speak rather than to listen. And since it is important to listen to be a good communicator, we need to put a conscious effort. Communicating without listening is not effective because we might miss crucial points. We might miss the centrality of the message that the other person is trying to communicate with you. And responding to a poorly comprehended message can be disastrous. Let us be good listeners. Listen to all elements of communication. Now, what do we mean by this? We have looked at verbal and non-verbal communications, I'm sure, and we looked at what constitutes this verbal and non-verbal communication. 55% of our communication is non-verbal, 38% of our communication is vocal, and 7% is words. So what should we listen to? Framework in order to train our faculties like our vision, our ears through which we normally listen, through our eyes and ears. What do we listen to? I would recommend that we listen to words because 7% of the time people are communicating with us through words. Let us listen to the tone, the pitch, and the pace, the speed of the words of the communicator because they're communicating through their tone, pitch, and pace. And a lot of emotion is communicated through this vocal communication. And let's also look at, listen to the non-verbal messages. That is, a 55% of our communication is through our body language. So let's observe carefully facial expressions, postures, gestures, and silences, pauses. Listen to all elements of communication. The tendency is, generally, we tend to listen to only words, but take in the whole communication because research has shown that all of us tend to communicate 55% of the time non-verbally, 38% of the time vocally, and only 7% of time verbally. When you listen to all this, you will capture the meaning, message, and the idea of communication, not just the words. All right?